Something's happening in Cleveland, and no one saw it coming. The Browns just made a move that flipped their entire quarterback depth chart upside down, and it's turning heads across the league. Just a few weeks ago, Shedeur Sanders wasn't even getting second-team reps. Now, he's the starting quarterback heading into the Browns preseason opener. But that's not the only shocker. Cameras caught him reuniting with an old teammate from Colorado, and what they said to each other.
The Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Before practice had fans buzzing instantly. The media locked out. Footage limited. But the noise around Sanders louder than ever. Is he being set up to shine or set up to fail? Just weeks ago, Shedeur Sanders wasn't even in the conversation. He came into training camp buried on the depth chart, fourth string, barely getting snaps, not even practicing with the second team. Some fans thought he'd be redshirted through the preseason. Or worse, quietly phased out before the real games even began. Whispers online were growing louder, and they weren't kind. Some said the Browns were using Shedeur Sanders for headlines, a name to generate buzz, not a player to build around. Others insisted he was just a pawn in a deeper PR game, thrown into a quarterback room already stacked with veterans like Kenny Pickett and Tyler Huntley. Many believed Shedeur never had a real shot, no space to breathe, no real window to shine. He wasn't just buried on the depth chart. He was dismissed by analysts, ignored by insiders, and doubted by fans. They thought he was there just to sit, wait, and eventually disappear. But then, everything changed. Out of nowhere, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski walked up to the podium. Reporters leaned in. The air got tense, and then came 6 words that flipped the narrative upside down. We'll play Shedeur at quarterback. No asterisks. No just testing the waters. No a few reps here and there. This was the real deal. Shedeur Sanders was officially named the starting quarterback for the Browns preseason opener. And not just any game, a nationally televised showdown with the entire NFL world watching. It was a move no one predicted. Not the fans, not the insiders, not even some of the players. But maybe, just maybe. That was the plan all along. Before the cleats even touched the turf, before a single ball was thrown, the spotlight had already found Shedeur. And here's the twist, the moment that stole the show. It had nothing to do with playbooks, formations, or stats. It was about presence. It was about pressure, and how one young quarterback, written off by many, suddenly became the center of the NFL conversation. For fans, it's never just about watching a game. It's about moments, stories, and seeing if bonds forged in college can survive under the brutal lights of the NFL. And for Shedeur Sanders, that test is coming fast, and on the biggest stage possible. That emotional reunion during practice? That was just the beginning. The announcement was bold, but now it's real. Shedeur Sanders is officially starting at quarterback in the Browns preseason opener, and the entire football world is watching. But let's be clear, the setup? Far from ideal. Earlier in training camp, Shedeur dealt with arm soreness, raising serious questions about whether he'd even be ready. But Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski shut it down. We're past that. No excuses, no limitations. He's got the green light. Sounds great, until you realize what Shedeur's walking into. Key weapons like Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. Sitting out. Several starters. Rested. Offensive chemistry. Unproven. Shedeur's stepping onto a national stage with limited firepower, surrounded by backups, against pro-level defenses. And just when you thought it couldn't get harder, the Browns restricted media access during joint practices with the Panthers. No full practice footage, no highlights, just whispers, tweets, and secondhand info. For the fans, total radio silence. For Shedeur, A test in the shadows. No spotlight, no hype. Just grind. Still, a few glimpses leaked through. During 7-on-7s, Shedeur went 2 for 3, connecting twice with an unexpected name, Floria. A wide receiver so under the radar, many fans didn't even know he was on the roster. Meanwhile, QBs like Kenny Pickett and Dorian Thompson-Robinson got more total reps. And when round 2 of drills came, Shedeur didn't even touch the field. No second reps, no extra chances. Just one short window to prove something. Anything.
From the world, it been hard to even make phone calls, obviously, because you got to have the decompressed time.
And then the weather turned. Rain started falling. The ball got slick. Timing got sloppy. Conditions terrible. Opportunity slim. And yet, something happened. Despite the odds, despite the weather, despite the no-name receivers, Shedeur's throws stood out. Not loud, not flashy, but precise, sharp, calculated. Insider said he made guys look better than they are. Sometimes greatness doesn't yell, it whispers. He wasn't throwing to superstars. He wasn't working with starters. But the players around him, they started to look sharper, quicker, more dangerous. 2 names kept popping up, Floria and Gage. Not household names, but when Shedeur targeted them, something clicked. One reporter even admitted, "I didn't even know who Gage was until Shedeur started repping with him." That's what a high IQ quarterback does. He doesn't just run plays, he elevates everyone around him. He was dropping balls into tight windows, getting guys like Canella involved on drags, bringing rhythm to chaos. And coaches notice that. So do scouts. So do other teams. Because in a league built on depth and development, a quarterback who can make third stringers look like starters, that's rare. That's special. That's Shedeur Sanders. Starters. That's value. And let's be real. These weren't some highlight reel hero throws in perfect, clean conditions. It was raining. Timing was off. Reps were limited. And yet, Shedeur Sanders found a way to shine by doing the small things right. The smart reads, the right touch, leading with calm, not chaos. But now, the stage gets bigger, and so does the spotlight. Front and center, Shedeur Sanders, wearing number 12, with the whole football world watching. For most rookies, it's just a chance to get reps. For Shedeur, this is an audition, a statement game, a test that could rewrite his entire NFL trajectory in just one night. Because while Cleveland might be keeping things quiet behind closed doors, the rest of the league, wide awake. Scouts from 31 other teams will be watching. And if Shedeur puts up numbers, moves the offense, and shows poise under pressure, people will take notice. Fast. This isn't just about making a roster. It's about planting a flag, proving he belongs, not just in the Browns QB room, but in the NFL, period. But here's the twist. Not everyone believes the Browns want him to succeed. Sure, fans are hyped, but online, something darker is brewing. A theory that's gaining traction. They're setting Shedeur up to fail. Think about it. Yeah, he's starting the game, but with Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman on the bench, limited reps in camp, unfamiliar receivers, wet footballs, no chemistry, and barely any media coverage, it almost feels off. They've handed him the spotlight, but also quietly stacked the deck against him. No rhythm, no consistency, no room to adjust. It's almost like they're letting him take the heat now, just to justify benching him later. Some fans see a setup. Others, they see a test. A chance to see who Shedeur Sanders really is when everything is on the line. Because if he fights through this, if he balls out under pressure, with everything working against him, then no one can twist the story anymore. Let's rewind for a second. At the start of camp, Shedeur Sanders was QB4. An afterthought. No real reps. No media buzz. Just a name with potential, buried deep on the depth chart. Now, he's starting. QB1 for the Browns preseason opener, live on national TV. This isn't just a promotion, it's a statement, a turning point, a moment that could mark the beginning of something bigger than anyone expected. Because if Shedeur delivers, if he throws touchdowns, commands the huddle, shows poise under pressure, then the conversation changes overnight. No more developmental project, no more Coach Prime's son. He becomes a real option, a potential franchise quarterback. And if the Browns don't want him, believe this, someone else will. In the NFL, talent doesn't stay hidden for long. And when that talent shows up on national television in front of millions, doors open fast. Whether this game makes or breaks his NFL future, one thing is already clear. Shedeur Sanders is no longer in the shadows. It started as a surprise. Now it feels like a turning point. He was never supposed to get this shot, not this early, not under these conditions. But here he is, under the lights, with the weight of expectations and the eyes of the league locked on him. No guarantees, no safety net, just one nationally televised game and a massive opportunity. If he crumbles under pressure, critics will say they were right all along. But if he shows up, if he takes over, if he turns adversity into a statement, then this game could change everything for the Browns, for the league, and for a quarterback who was never supposed to be the guy, but just might be. And that leaves us with one final question. Is this just a one-time shot, or the beginning of the Shedeur Sanders NFL era?